took the ballpark attendance from like 3,000 a game to like 27,000 a game or some
Right.
craziness.
Yeah, he did. I thought you were going to stop at the number 3, not say
No.
3,000. Awards finalists. Those have been announced. They were officially announced today. We have our Rookie of the Year finalists, Manager of the Year, Cy Young Awards, and MVP Award finalists. For the American League, I'll just get right into the American League here. For the MVP, the big daddy of them all, you've got Yordan Alvarez with the Astros, Aaron Judge with the Yankees, and of course, Shohei Ohtani with the Angels. Go ahead with the NL, and then we'll do predictions for the MVPs after we get into the NL.
Okay, National League MVP award finalist Paul Goldschmidt, first base for the Cardinals, super duh. Nolan Arenado, third base for the Cardinals, and also with the Cardinals. No, I'm just kidding. But we do have Manny Machado, third base for the Padres, the Friars. That's the National League MVP finalists. Brad, who do you got?
Interesting picks. So for the AL, I'm going to go with Judge. You can't have the kind of year he had and not win the MVP, even though I feel like Shohei Ohtani is literally the most valuable player in the league.
Yeah.
I think that just you can't give it to him every year, so I think Judge gets it with the year he had. The fact that he hit 62 home runs and then still even finished in the running for a Triple Crown. Please, you don't give it to anybody else.
Well, and don't forget how wonderful he is as a defender. Like, he's just a terrific defender.
Right. Yeah, and this is the thing is, like, I've always felt like he is a good defender, but I feel like he is even better this year than he's been before. It was more than just the arm, it was the glove, too.
The glove, yeah, and the hustle. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, for
Aaron
sure.
Judge all the way for me. Yeah.
Yeah. And then in the National League, who do you have there?
Goldie.
Yeah,
Paul Goldschmidt.
I would like to see Machado win one, but at the same time, Goldschmidt with the year that year that he had, he was contending for a Triple Crown up until like the last week of the season almost. So I think you've got to give it to him for sure.
You have to. And I'm with you. I want Machado to win one. And Machado stepped it up quietly in years previous with the Friars. This year with Tatis bowing out because of his stupidity, we now have Machado stepping up in a far more substantial leadership role. I think that has value, but it's not statistical value. There's no empirical data to back up the leadership. So that's the reason you can't give it to Machado over Paul Goldschmidt. That's the only reason, but that's why.
Yep, I agree. Because I think if they were to take into account the role guys had in the clubhouse, it would get a whole lot messier. So I think they have to just look, this is what's going on the field. But
totally.
Anyway, all right, let's go into Cy Young. AL Cy Young, we've got Dylan Cease with the White Sox, Alek Manoah with the Blue Jays, and Justin Verlander with the Astros as your American League Cy Young Award finalists.
National League Cy Young Award finalist Sandy Alcantara, right-handed pitcher for the Marlins. Max Fried, left-handed pitcher for the Braves, and Julio Urias, left-handed pitcher for the Dodgers.
For the American League, as much as I hate to say it, you've got to give it to Justin Verlander.
Me too.
Just because you don't finish sub-2 with a sub-2 ERA at 39 years old after Tommy John and not win an award for it.
Yeah. 185 strikeouts, not just sub-2, but 1.75 ERA. It's insane.
Yeah. Yep. And
if he wins this year, he'll be the 11th pitcher to win 3.
Wow. Good for him. Who do you have in the National League?
Sandy all the way. You?
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's not even close.
No.
Not even close.
These other guys are nice. They're fun.
Right. Urias had a great year. He did.
So did Max.
Max Fried is going to have plenty of opportunities, most likely, to win one. But few guys have the year that Alcantara had with the Marlins. So, yeah, he's gonna win it all the way. And the one that I've been waiting for all year now, Brig, the Rookie of the Year. The American League Rookie of the Year. Finalists, we have Stephen Kwan with the Guardians, Julio Rodriguez, with the Mariners, and Adley Rutschman with the Orioles.
National League Rookie of the Year finalist Brendan Donovan with the Cardinals, Michael Harris II with the Braves, and Spencer Strider with the Braves. We all know who you have, Brad.
Braves. Oh, yeah. 1,000% I've got Julio.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
I think I would have gone with Adley Rutschman had he come into the league just a little sooner.
If he had a full season, it would be much tighter.
Yeah.
But with Julio coming in and setting records the way that he did as a rookie, that there's no way anybody else can win it. So
No, he's one of three. I'm reading this. He's 21 years old. He's one of three rookies ever to win both 25 home runs, to have both 25 home runs, 25 steals since Mike Trout.
the first since Mike Trout.
Yeah, and one of three ever.
Yeah. You can't not give him the rookie of the year.
No, you have to.
So,
Super
yeah.
duh. What about the National League? Who do you have in the National League?
I'd probably give it to Spencer Strider.
Why you got to be picking my picks, bro?
Oh, did I? That's funny.
Baseball family, we overlap a lot, but this is outrageous.
This is outrageous. But I think it's also just like a lot of this is like a super duh, right?
It's a little bit of a no-brainer.
Like they almost have to put guys in here as finalists just as a formality to fill out the ballot or something or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
But no, I think Strider's your guy all the way. Absolutely.
Yeah, and because he's a rookie, he's just out of the Cy Young opportunities. So
yeah.
Otherwise,
okay.
I think he'd be in the Cy Young talks. But
he could be. Yeah, he very well could be. Okay, American League Manager of the Year. Your candidates or your finalists are Terry Francona of the Guardians, Brandon Hyde of the Orioles, and Scott Service of the Mariners.
National League Manager of the Year finalists: Dave Roberts of the Dodgers, Buck Showalter of the Mets, Brian Snitker of the Braves.
So you know who I. We'll get into that. You know who I have in the American League. Obviously, Scott Service. I feel like he's so deserving, and I said this at the beginning of the season. He was going to be deserving because the Mariners are going to make the playoffs, and I still think that's why he's deserving, even with the talent that he had on that team.
I would love to see Scott Service win it. I'm going to go with Brandon Hyde because the turnaround was insane.
Yeah, it was insane.
Like
absolutely,
we all had whiplash. I still have whiplash.
Yeah. Oh, and especially at the trade deadline, we're like, what are you doing getting rid of Mancini?
Right.
Oh, you're better without him? What the
what? You're going to bring in a bunch of rookies? Are you kidding me?
Yeah. You're still just barely going to miss the playoffs? What?
Yeah, it worked. And I would give nothing against Terry Francona. He's great. But this is more about Terry's players than it is about I don't know how to say what I'm trying to say.
This is the thing. So there are certain guys who could win it every single year, right? Like I'm gonna go back to the NBA. Like Greg Popovich, Phil Jackson, Jerry Sloan, those guys could have won Coach of the Year every single year. But you've got to give it to a guy who has an outstanding year doing something above and beyond, right? And so I could absolutely see for that reason the argument for Brandon Hyde.
Yeah.
Right.
That's why I think it deserves to be Brandon Hyde.
And that's one of the reasons that I say with Scott Service, though, is because he got the monkey off the back of an entire organization of a 2-decade-long playoff drought.
Well, but Brandon Hyde took the ballpark attendance from 3,000 a game to 27,000 a game or some craziness.
Right. Yeah, he did. I thought you were going to stop at the number 3, not say 3,000. Three people in the fans.
He made 3 roster moves and it 10x'd his attendance in the stadium.
It did. Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's amazing. Can we move on though?
Because let's get to the NL.
The National League Manager of the Year has a huge problem here. Philly Rob is nowhere on this list.
Right.
I am not happy. In fact, I'm offended. I don't care how long he was in there.
And that's why.
I don't care. I don't care. What he was able to do is insane.
Right. The turnaround was something else, right? Was unreal that he was able to take that team from where they were to make the playoffs. And then you cannot include the playoff run.
No,
right?
You can't.
It's a regular season award. You cannot say he took him from that to the World Series. No, he took him from that to the playoffs. But I think part of it is they were supposed to make the playoffs.
I don't care.
With that roster, they're supposed to. And the fact that he was not there for the entire season, I think is another reason that they're like, no, we can't include him. That's why we're going to have Dave Roberts, who won 111 games, Buck Showalter, who was incredibly dominant with the Mets all season long, and then Brian Snitker, who kept the Braves were the best team for a long stretch of the season.
Time. Yeah.
Like their winning percentage for like what was it, like July to the end of September was better
Yeah.
than anybody, even the Dodgers.
And the Braves did strike out more than everybody else for the first like 60 days of the season.
Yeah, a huge turnaround.
So there is a huge turnaround there. I don't mind that Buck is on the list. And you can't not have Dave Roberts on the list with 111 wins.
Right.
And what was it, a 20 something game lead in his division?
Yeah.
Yeah,
My argument against Buck Showalter though is that, again, like with Philly Rob, the Phillies were supposed to be there. With
yeah.
that amount of talent, the Mets should be there. Right?
Yes.
Like how much of that
Yes.
was really Buck Showalter? I don't
Plenty,
know.
probably.
It very well could be, but I feel like the Mets, with the amount of talent they have on that team, they were supposed to be where they were.
Yeah.
They probably
Same
even
with the
they should
Dodgers.
have won the division. Like maybe you take Buck Showalter off because they didn't win the division when they should have.
See, and
When they had a
that's
20
where
game lead.
that's where I think you make a valid argument, because the Braves climbed back and took it, just stole it. Right. It was like capture the flag on national television.
Yeah.
And that's, I say that's why Buck Showalter doesn't get the award,
Yeah,
let
he
alone
shouldn't
on
get
the
it. I
list.
don't
He
think he should
shouldn't get it. No way.
No.
Think of the weird decisions he made going into the playoffs that last couple of series against the Yankees, right? Just the Subway Series, those couple of games where he didn't start DeGrom. Like, it makes no sense.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know. I think he's made some weird decisions that I think you move Buck out, you put Philly Rob in, and then Philly Rob wins. That's my pick, is Philly Rob.
Of the available finalists,
Snicker.
I've got to give it to Dave Roberts.
I'm giving it a Snicker. Hey, we disagreed. That's wonderful.
I knew we would on that one. I knew we would.
I got to give it to Snicker because of the strikeouts and all that.
Yeah, and turning it around.